My amplified unit. Top of the morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you guys are in the world. I had a few minutes here on this Sunday evening. I usually don't have this time on a Sunday evening, but I do. The weather kind of changed some plans for BC. So I got some minutes. I said, you know what? I'm going to spend it shooting the shit with my people because I know that I'm going to be asked this a lot going forward. This is a big pro Sasha Banks channel. A lot of people are going to ask me, BC, did you hear about Triple H, the man of 3H's and WWE production, muting out, drowning out the Sasha Banks chants from Survivor Series? We want Sasha. A lot, not just 1, 2, 3, 10, a lot of reports, reputable reports, and just people live were saying, whoa, what you guys got on the TV, what you guys got on the stream, from the pay-per-view, from the premium live event, we were much louder in the arena. And then we started hearing word that no, everything is fine. It was faint chants. They did not get drowned out by muting. There was no muting. There was no fade to the chants. You guys know what fades are as well. They're all production tricks. So you're not really picking up, or it doesn't seem like the chant is loud. This became a big story ever since Survivor Series went off the air last night. So BC said, all right, well, which is it? I'm hearing a shit ton of people, not just reputable sources, but people there live that said, no, we were much louder than that. Something's off. And listening to it last night several times during the night, it seemed like something was off with the chants. It didn't seem like a realistic voiced chant going on. So BC had to do his own research. You guys know, before I ever came to New York City, born and raised in New England. And I had a lot of friends in Boston last night at that event. And to my surprise, I even had family members that were at the event. I didn't find that out until today. Good to know I'm always in the loop. So I was able to talk to a lot of people, and they all told BC the same thing. BC, we were chanting throughout the night, we want Sasha loud. And everybody said the same thing. During the Ronda Rousey Shotzi match is when they felt they were the loudest, and that the sections around them were picking up on the chant. And many of them watched back either the full replay or just like that match to see just how loud it picked up on the premium live event stream. And they were shocked when they could barely hear themselves. They were like, there was no way, man. That was one of the loudest chants at one point for that Rousey match. For those sections anyway. I mean, a couple people were adamant that that was the match, that they were sure that they were proving their point in sending the message over to WWE, to Papa H, that they want Sasha. It's Boston, her hometown. It's not... That's obviously going to be acknowledged, I would think, before even going into the event, that that's who they're going to want. But H could not come to that deal, so they settled for Becky Lynch. And that's the real reason why Becky Lynch had to show up on Friday and not as a mystery surprise for the pay-per-view, because they know Becky would have been booed out of Boston. They wanted Sasha, and if there was a mystery partner still being advertised, they would want Sasha. You know that, man. Even Becky Lynch. They would not have been happy. So they chanted it, and they didn't get it in that first match. It's almost like Triple H wanted to just wipe that under the rug. All right, we'll get this over with now. The ladies will be in match number 1, and then I don't think they really chant Sasha for Ronda Rousey's match. Nope, they did. They absolutely did, and they got... It sounded funny when we were watching it, but then they hear the reports, and then they see people try to hide that, right? No. There was no muting, I'm being told. Who the fuck's going to tell you that there was no muting? Kevin Dunn's going to come out and be like, no, we didn't do it. Is 3H's in the conference call last night going to go, well, we did not do that. No, we didn't. What the fuck you think he's going to say? Yes, we did. We heard it. We heard it. And now, in case anybody was wondering, because now there's conflicting reports, BC, who is from New England, many friends and even family, much to my surprise last night. I shouldn't be. But I was not told beforehand that they were going. Otherwise, maybe I would have fucking made a trip. I don't know. I'm glad I didn't, judging how the event turned out. But many people close to BC, now saying the same thing. Nope, those reports are more than factual. They muted our asses out. 3H's did not want his narrative to be skewed. And this is not the first time. You guys remember what just happened 2 weeks ago? If you think this is not what H would do, right? If you think this was just something that VKM used to do with Kevin Dunn, do you remember what happened just 2 weeks ago? Remember when Triple H had the fucking, he knew he was in hot water. He fucked up. It was one of the biggest booking botches of all time by Papa H. Of course, anybody that's sucking down on the third H of Papa, they're not going to admit that this was a huge botch of epic proportions. They're just going to say, no, this needed to be done. It was a reset. He's going to get the title. This is how you had to do it. You had to embarrass him, absolutely fucking shred any respect we have for the Money in the Bank concept, the prestige of Money in the Bank. You had to fucking burn that into ashes to fucking reset Theory, which is just put down the cell phone, and now he's a little bit more mean. He still runs away from people like Lashley, and he still picks up cheap victories like he did last night after Lashley did all the work, and he just picks up the scraps. This is the same fucking Theory. Just he mean mugs a little more. And you needed to do that? No. H knew he fucked up, right? We all know that now. Whether any podcaster, creator, anybody who even knows a semblance, one fucking iota about pro wrestling, we all know that was a botch of epic proportions. So what does he do? He tries to fucking make it look like this was the plan all along. It's just a reset, and he's gonna come back, and he's gonna be ruthless. So what does he do? He has him fucking beat up everybody. I don't know, Rollins, Lashley, Ali, whoever the fuck he beat up 2 weeks ago to make it look like all of this was for purpose. And as he's going back, right, it sounded like a louder boo than what we were viewing. But then, so BC's, the wheels were spinning upstairs. This sounds like a loud boo, and it's not matching a lot of the faces. So what happens is, Theory goes back. Now he's through the curtain. This is where anybody that's ever been to wrestling events or anything, man, this is where the boos will start to subside, right? You start to go down a little bit, right? It's a realistic, audible voiceovers that you're hearing. It's just, there's nothing like it. Like he's through the curtain, and then all of a sudden now it's starting to go into like different chatter from the boo. It's unexplainable, but if you've watched pro wrestling for more than fucking a month, you know what I'm talking about. Let alone over 30 years like BC has. So Theory goes through the curtain. Okay? Theory's through the curtain, and the boos, they stay steady. They don't move any octave. They don't go any more up. They don't fall at all. And we go backstage to JBL and Baron Corbin. JBL and Baron Corbin are walking backstage as if they're coming to the ring for the next segment. And the boos stayed steady at an even keel audible level. That is textbook 101 piped in crowd noise by 3H's. Hunter Hearst Helmsley Paul Triple H Levesque controlling his narrative and trying to make it look like, see, listen to this reaction for Theory. It's off the charts. See, I had to do it the way that I did it, and now you're getting this. Listen to that. It was such bullshit. I think I'm the only content creator to actually fucking call that out. I can't be the only one that noticed it. But because every other podcaster's fucking sucking that H-cock, right? Oh, yeah, man. It's Triple H. He gonna make a statement every fucking show for Triple H since he's taken over. It's gonna be a statement. Last night for Survivor Series, he's gonna make a statement tonight. Oh, he made a statement on how you fuck up Survivor Series. Oh, boy, did he fuck that up. It's hilarious. It's hilarious how many people are trying to convince BC that it was a good... BC, man. How negative, man. BC, you're being too you're being too harsh. It was amazing. Did you see the storytelling, BC? Sami Zayn in the storytelling, BC. BC, the storytelling. Of course I fucking saw this stuff. I'm the one who wants less flippities and I want more stories to be told. What the fucking... It was the one good in the good, the bad, and the ugly column last night. The one good was the main event because of the storytelling with Sami Zayn. I had to go to my amplified unit to make the final decision because the match was it was less than mid, I should say. It was less than just mid for BC. That main event, just like the first War Games match to start the night, those were mid. It's just a bunch of motherfuckers in 2 rings with a fence around it, and they're just hitting each other over the head with trash can lids, some kendo sticks, some thin pieces of wood. Somebody goes to a table and Boston busts a load. That's how wrestling fans are. They love when you go through a table. Some people will jump off the fucking... I don't know what I was supposed to be viewing that I was going to be like, whoa, this is great. I want more stories to be told in the match. In-ring psychology. So I loved what happened with Sami Zayn. Did it make total sense? Of course not. I mean, this motherfucker was going to war with the Bloodline for 40 fucking minutes. And then at the end, of course he's going to stop Kevin Owens from getting a pin. Why would he not? He just fought against the whole team for 40 minutes. And at the very end, he's going to go, oops, change my mind. He could have saved himself 40 fucking minutes and did a dastardly turn beforehand. Unevened up the odds. So of course this could have and should have been done even better, but I'll take it because at least it is a storyline. It's good. And we're supporting Sami Zayn with his work right now. And Roman's pulling it off good. And the Usos. So, of course, it ended up amplified unit in BC. We all got together. We pulled in a vote. And that went into the good. But it wasn't because of the match, I assure you. That wasn't a fucking statement. It's a fucking story that's been fucking going on for a while now. And they had to utilize it last night. Could have been, should have been done better. Beggars can't be choosers. I'll take it. And then the night just ended with Sami hugging everybody. Okay. I mean, will you ever go back and watch that again? Wow, raise your standards, bro. The first match with the ladies, that was full of botches, but I was willing to set that aside, right? Because I don't want to sit there and count fucking botches, so I praised the physicality. It was sloppy, it was messy, but I swept that to the side, and I said, you know what? But they tried, they took risks, so I like that. But in the end, as a fair critic of pro wrestling, I had to say it's not a good match. It was 10 people in there at once in a sloppy match doing befuddling shit. I'm going to need to see more than just you're hitting everybody in the head with a trash can lid and kendo stick shots and people are taking turns jumping off of a fucking fence that you call a cage. It's 2 rings with a damn fence around it. And I'm supposed to sit there and go, oh, that's a good match, man. Wow. I'll never go back and watch it again. I'll never go back and watch that again. None of those War Games matches I will go back and watch again. You know, I was expecting like moments that would like captivate us 10, 20 years from now. I can't say any of those matches. And the undercard. Ronda Rousey beat Shotzi in like less than 5 minutes. This was an exhibition match at best. Taps her out, instantly the tap out, and I'm like, well, that's a SmackDown match. Why would we? In fact, we already saw that just a couple of months ago on SmackDown, guys. Shotzi versus Ronda, same exact finish. Armbar, instant tap out. Now we just have to pay to see the same thing, and I'm supposed to sit there and go, what a Survivor Series. You had AJ Styles and Finn Balor for zero reason. BC, they were feuding for months. Intertwined within the feuds was a separate feud with the Judgment Day in Rey Mysterio. Do you guys forget that? What about Judgment Day in Edge, which was just culminated last month? I don't even think that was a full culmination. And then somehow, because they needed a filler match, they went back to AJ and Finn, threw that into the ring last night. A match that you would see on Monday Night Raw because the story is so odd, if you could even call it that. Nobody's going back to watch that match last night between Styles and Balor. It's not even the best they can do, not even close. And then the triple threat. How odd is it, Bobby Lashley's booking? This whole entire U.S. title picture run. Bobby Lashley comes out every Monday and it's like he has no purpose. He doesn't even know what he's doing. We don't know if he just wants to beat up Rollins. Does he want the title? Is he just trying to get airtime? We don't know what they're doing with Lashley because 3H's doesn't know what he's doing with Lashley. It's sad. It's sad that he's out there playing around with 2 other fucking dudes for a mid-card title. And on top of that, Seth Rollins. This guy was a heel just not long ago, just a few weeks ago, he somehow slowly but surely started going more of a face because he put a sing-along at the top of his song. Right? Him and Becky Lynch were sitting at home one night, and Seth goes, damn, I wish they could sing my song. There's nothing to sing to other than to Burn It Down. They sing your song. Right? They sing yours, Becky. And Becky's like, well, why don't you get a sing-along? And sure enough, Rollins is like, good idea. And then they have a sing-along and hoping that fans would sing. And guess what? There it is. Instantly. Fans are fucking sheep anyway. They just get a couple fucking beers in them and they're going to start singing like it's a soccer game. And because of a fucking song, Seth Rollins is all of a sudden transitioned into a face. When just a couple weeks ago, he still talks shit to the fans and then he runs away from a potential match. 3 hours later, he's having a fucking U.S. title match with Finn Balor. A Finn Balor-Rollins match would be better at a pay-per-view with the right storyline and build than the weird matches we got last night. Lashley, Rollins, and then they threw Theory in because Triple H now has to show everybody that it wasn't the biggest booking botch several weeks ago when he cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase on a mid-card title during an open challenge. The biggest booking botch I can think of. It's up there with about 3 or 4 other things, but it's massive. And this was his way to go. He's going to win the title now. Who the fuck cares if Austin Theory wins a fucking the damage is done. If you don't raise your bar and you loved all of that, awesome, man, for you. My bar is raised to the point where I now have to watch Austin Theory after what just happened to this dude several weeks ago. I can no longer look at Money in the Bank the same way. I can no longer look at Theory the same way, and I sure as hell won't look at 3H's the same way. I won't do it. It was a botch, and fans like BC cannot just get over it because it's a TV show. It is a show. You better entertain us, and you better tell the stories correctly. This is weird. That weeks later, all of that, the failed cash-in was just to get the Survivor Series to win the same fucking title under a new, reset persona. He's a little bit more meaner now. You could have let him just last week cut a promo that he's done with the fucking cell phones, and enough is enough. It's time for a change. Owen Hart status. And all of a sudden, he goes out with this mean mug and he wins the fucking title. No more people are going to care about the son of a bitch than they did beforehand. You see all the fucking cuts? You see all the people shocked after Theory defeated Rollins last night? You don't think those were fucking cutouts from previous events? Plants, I should say? That was not believable how many people were that shocked that Theory won a title or that Rollins lost his title. We have never seen anything like that. People have never been that shocked, not even when The Undertaker lost his streak. You would have thought Sergeant Slaughter defeated Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 7 during the whole war, and Hogan was the American hero, and Slaughter, that diabolical enemy heel. You would have thought Slaughter beat him, held up the title, fucking stomped on the flag with how shocked people were when Rollins lost that title last night. That was bullshit. Those are either plants or cutouts, which WWE was accused of just 2 months ago. Using footage that wasn't from the event. Do you guys remember that? That's something that was under H as well. That was one of H's scandals. They were using... And you could say, well, basically, he didn't know. It's Kevin Dunn. It's not H. H has to know all of this. They were using fans were pissed off because they were noticing themselves. Remember Brock Lesnar guy, I think, was the first one to raise a red flag a while back. And then it happened again to other fans. But I think it was Brock Lesnar guy who goes, wait a second. They just superimposed me into a reaction that I wasn't even there that night. You guys know who Brock Lesnar guy is. And then it happened again with H. And everybody was like, what the fuck? Is this dude a little scandalous? Is this dude, you gotta watch him. H is sketchy, you think? And then last night, man. So first of all, like I'm shocked that people honestly thought that BC Amplified was going to cookie cutter that review last night, that live watch along, which by the way, thank you. Over 10,000 of you guys caught that live watch-along reaction review last night. Over 10,000 of you so far. Either live or you caught the replay back. You guys are the fucking best, man. And we made people cry. Beasley's an asshole, man, right? They go over the other channels where they know a podcaster is going to suck, Triple H's Third H, right? And they start, well, Beasley hated it, man. He's so negative. He's an asshole. Do you guys see that, Beasley? He's an asshole. Right? Go to your other little channels where you know they're going to speak about how this was a statement. This was an amazing Survivor Series with such story because of Sammy. Which, again, was the only bright part of the fucking night. 3 hours plus of a Saturday night pay-per-view. And there is nothing you're going to remember a fucking year from now. Sami Zayn, and even that was odd because he fought for 40 minutes and then people thought he was going to turn on him then. Yeah, you could have done things a little bit better, but whatever. At least we got that. And then they just went off the air. And we're treating this Survivor Series like it was so fucking epic. I don't know if it's the change in air. I don't know if people are just festive with the holidays coming out of the pandemic. Now they get to really celebrate and see their family and friends again. And they were just in a good mood. And they took a subpar mid-show at best. And I'm being generous. It was below for BC and his amp unit. And they were just like, this was a statement show. H is flexing. No, what he ended up doing was he did more shady shit. Just like how he superimposed fans and their reactions. Just like he did again last night. With the Rollins shit. In theory, he muted Sasha Banks Chants. And again, the conflicting reports is what made BC do. There was way more reports saying that that's indeed what happened. But there was a few people that were claiming they were there and watched the playback and said, no, it wasn't muted. That's about the noise level. No, BC can say that every single person I talked to, and it was at least 13. 13 at least. That's the number I'm popping up the top of my head. It could have been a little bit more. Definitely no less. Because, again, I had a lot of family that was... I didn't even know that, man. It would have been nice because I would have asked for even more reports. Things that I had questions to. That's another story. But I had many people scattered around. It wasn't like all these people were just together. These are friends, family. Some don't even know each other. And they were scattered around, and they all told me the same thing, too. During the Ronda Shotzi one especially, very fucking loud chants. Their sections were fucking... The sections next to them all fucking in unison. They were telling H who they wanted at the end of this match, and H could not secure it. H knew that. H knew he had a little press conference so he could copy Tony Khan afterwards and do his little fucking thing and make him look all relevant. He can control his own narrative by holding the press down, right? He's going to try to get all the press, the podcasters, the content creators, and he's going to try to hide them all under his fucking schnoz. He's not going to hold BC. No. BC doesn't sugarcoat. BC is not going to bullshit. If people cry because they don't like my wrestling thoughts, the way I view wrestling, the way I critique wrestling, and they cry about it, and they go to other platforms and they go, BC's an asshole, then that's the bitch boy Bradens I love to make cry. That's exactly. I've been pissing people off since I came out the womb, bro. I'm a fucking natural born asshole, literally. What side you get from BC is all determined on how you act. You can get the good BC, and we can be an amplified unit and rock out and try to put pro wrestling where it should be on the promised land. Or you can be a little bitch boy Braden, and you're going to get the asshole. And that's not the BC you want. Because I'll make you cry every fucking time. And I did it again last night. Didn't even have to do much. Just called it like I saw it. And a lot of people just wanted to cry because I didn't like the show last night. And now you're finding out, I'm finding out, that he's fucking piping down "We want Sasha" chants because it doesn't make Triple H look good. He knows it's going to make him look bad that he couldn't land the one person that he could not get right now to show up last night. And that pisses him off. His ego. It's just like VKM. That stubbornness. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You're still dealing with the same type of individual. He will pipe down that fucking chant. He will insert chants like he did a few weeks ago with that constant selected boo after Theory turned diabolical heel. Put the cell phone down and we got to reset. Yeah, that was a fucking fake boo. Listen to that boo when Theory was already through the curtain and JBL and Baron were headed toward the ring. It was a constant audible boo. There's no fucking way anybody will tell you that. That's not how it ever works in pro wrestling or with actual live fans in a realistic chant. or a realistic audible tone that you can pick up on your TV. That will never happen. It never has. It never will. H is doing shady shit. And I told you the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. But instead, I'm the only one that's mentioning it. Everybody else? Nope. Nope, they're sweeping it right under the rug. H can do no wrong for these people. Once in a while, they'll say like, oh, this was a little bad, but in the grand scheme, it's for the best, right? You got those fucking idiots that are like, well, the cash-in attempt was definitely horrible. It could have been done better. But the reset's needed, and now we're where we need to be. It doesn't matter. The journey, how you get there, matters just as much as the destination. But because it's Triple H, we're gonna give it a slide. Oh, it doesn't matter as long as we're here. If this was Vince McMahon and he did that Money in the Bank shit, you would never hear the end of it. But because it's H, we gotta suck that fucking schlong, right? Oh yeah, it's H, man. We might get a job, maybe. Right? All the podcasters are forming a bond, right? And they're like, if we speak highly, we might be able to get a job because Tony's not hiring us. It's a fucking shame. What a shit show this community has turned into. And then we all fucking like demented fucking seals. We all clap at everything. This is awesome. The whole fucking night. 3 hours of nothing newsworthy at all. A little bit of good storytelling at the end of the fucking main event. That was it. That was literally it. Nothing last night would I ever go back or spend a fucking 10 cents on. Not a dime, not a nickel, not a fucking penny would I spend on that show, had I known. I don't even know if I'd spend a fucking Saturday night for sure. The best part was spending it with my amplified unit. Honestly, shooting the shit with my unit was way more fun than the event itself. But this is what we do, man. It's Triple H. We're just, no matter what, we are going to say, this was awesome, man. And then you wonder why every metric is down, right? Merchandise sales down over 60%. Ratings are fucking in the shitter. Vince McMahon's Raw is doing better than Triple H's Raw year to year in the past several weeks. Vince was going up against Monday Night Football too. Why is Triple H down 1 to 2 to 3 fucking 100,000 per DM per week? That's Triple H's Monday Night Raw rating dipping, and nobody wants to say anything. But BC, why are we not calling it like it is? We heard the piped in fucking boos 2 weeks ago, and nobody said a damn thing but BC. You saw the reactions, all the fake fucking shocked plants and people last night in the U.S. title match. Nobody thought to go, wow, that was too overly done. We didn't even get those with the Undertaker streak coming to an end with Brock. That was so over-the-top dramatic. Austin Theory got a title we all knew he was going to get because that was what fucking Triple H felt he had to do. 3H's was like, fuck, I'm going to make everybody see that. He's not buried. Relax. No, you're going to spend a long time fucking digging him out because he absolutely was he was buried before the Money in the Bank failed cash in during a fucking open challenge. He was buried because he had only won a few matches out of his last 50. That's called burial by the definition of pro wrestling. Buried is when you keep losing fucking matches and your stock gets devalued because of it. That's where Theory already was. The fucking, the cherry on top was what happened several weeks ago with the Money in the Bank botch of a lifetime. That put him securely in the burial. Now H just has to fucking work 3, 4, 5, 10 times as hard. For people like BC, I mean, this is it's laughable. Theory is laughable, and that sucks because I always didn't mind Theory. I think he does have a bright future if booked correctly. But him getting the fucking title is pointless. What the fuck is it gonna do? If this is the reset, Theory is gonna gain no fucking momentum out of this. Nobody's gonna give a fuck about Theory. If this is the reset and he's still running away from people, and he's still catching fucking squeak by victories like he did last night. But he's just mean mugging more. I'm a meanie. I'm done. I'm sick of being the kid. And that's enough to get what happened a few weeks ago in that Money in the Bank brief. That's enough for fans, for people like BC to forget about it and just go, okay, at least it got done. No, how you get there matters just as much as the destination. The journey is just as important. And I will never let that fucking down. That's a botch that everybody should have been held to an accountable standard that is higher just like everybody else. And instead, because it was H, we held it down here. And we're like, all right, it was not a good call, but let's look at the positives. So the botches swept under the rug because it's H. The piped in noise swept under the rug because it's H. The fucking plants in the crowd being shocked swept under the rug because it's H. Muting Sasha Banks' chants. Muting Chants because H knows he couldn't get the job done and land the talent. So he mutes the fucking Chants and we swipe it under the rug. BC was not going to talk about this until I asked my people that were there live. Is what you heard on that playback the same as the chants that you were actually chanting during the event? And does it hold up with the other chants, the This Is Awesomes, or anything else you were chanting that you could audibly hear on TV? Did that hold up? Everybody said the same thing. What the fuck? Bro, they muted us out. It was insane. And if you're shocked at this, you shouldn't be. BC told you. Watch this dude. Watch this dude, man. What did fucking Uncle Howdy say? Just this past Friday. To all of us about Bray Wyatt. A snake in a cage is still a snake. Something like that. Careful, man. I'm telling you. This H will pull out any dastardly fucking trick. It's a different type of fucking ruthless, and he doesn't care who he hurts in the process or how he gets there. And he's shown you that his entire career and life. He's shown you that. If you're shocked that BC did not like Survivor Series, hit the bricks. Go to all. There's so many, but you know this by now. There's the community is filled with people that are just drinking the 3H's Kool-Aid right now. And I'm not one of them. When I get good shows, you're going to hear about it. When they suck, you're going to hear about it. If you're going to cry, hit the bricks so you don't have to hear about it. It's the best advice I can give you. I am not drinking anybody's fucking Kool-Aid. I call it right down the middle. I'm not trying to get a job with any of these fucking companies. You got podcasters and creators that have been doing this a lot longer than BC, years more. They've hit a point where they're like, fuck, I'm not seeing substantial growth. I've pretty much been fucking steady. I don't know where this is going. I'm getting older. I'm just trying to get in good with one of these companies so they can hire me. And they start getting skewed. Everything they start saying, you start to see holes in their game. You start to see that they're not as honest as they once told you they were. They're not as being real as you once thought they were. But at least they're giving you everything you want to hear, right? You liked Survivor Series. Well, this doesn't matter about what you liked and didn't like. This doesn't matter about if you loved it or fucking just despised it. When you're a true critic like BC and you're critiquing professional wrestling in this case, you have to call out what was good, bad, and ugly. What needs to be changed, not just what we want because we like it or we don't. A critic, if you're a good critic, you call these shows out the way they need to be. What's good and bad, not what you like and didn't. I don't even care about my own fucking opinion. They're like assholes' opinions. Everybody's got one, and they're usually full of shit. I care about the facts. Sasha Banks chants getting muted out. I don't even care if it was just like 3 or 4 fucking decibel. Basically, I talked to some people and yes, okay, so it was just a little bit of a mute. But you still heard them. That wasn't a total mute, basically. Whatever, then you support this motherfucker. You would be bashing Vince McMahon if this was him. When Sarah Logan lost her name and 3H's changed it to Van Halen. The rock band Van Halen. Everybody fucking didn't mention it. Nobody to this day is saying, oh, that's so. No, you know what it is? I like it. This is good. Sarah Logan wasn't going to work with the raid. I like this. If this was Vince changing a name, you'd be fucking Mia Yim, Meechkin, whatever the fuck. Now, currently, there's a little bit of controversy around that name, so they don't know if they can attach that solely. But if the controversy gets solved, expect Mia Yim's name to be outed. It is going to be this Machka, Rusev Crash. And this is just the beginning. There's going to be more name changes, and nobody will fucking say anything because it's Triple H. Nah, bruh. If you're gonna cry because I'm calling this shit out, then fucking cry. Hit the bricks, or I'm gonna give you Das Boot. Those are the only fucking options, and I love giving Das Boot. Straight the fuck into the orbit. But you're gonna do my girl dirty like that, Sasha Banks, muting them out, man. Boston is just showing some love. At least they're making noise on a shitty fucking event. And you mute him out. Bullshit. BC, the Amplified, man. He's always pissed, man. BC is so pissed. Why is he always so negative of that, BC? Oh, you used the wrong word. Oh, did you mean why am I always so honest? Why am I always so truthful? Don't worry, I corrected you. Well, it's because it's how I'm built. Amplified to the core. Raise them up. Get those dilts.